Hello everyone, I'm Vivi and I'm super excited right now. We are having Eike Feldmann with us. She's a health coach, certified health coach. And as we have been receiving questions from you regarding stress and food. We have her today to answer some questions in regards to this. So hi Eike, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Excited. So Eike, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you start this health coaching path?
Yeah, of course, thanks. So my official background is pharmacy. So after I graduated from high school, started a normal university degree in pharmacy, always with the intention to work in the medical field, helping people getting healthy. And coming out of university, I then happened to explore different roles within the pharmaceutical industry. I started to work in pharmacy, but I actually ended in a corporate job in pharmaceutical industry, which was super interesting. Worked there for 5 to 6 years, but really got quite disconnected from this purpose of wanting to help people, and totally lost that focus as well.
Okay.
What I then realized, though, after 5 to 6 years working in that field, I got stressed and more stressed. I got the opportunity for that company to work a year in India, and that's where it really hit me, and where I really realized how stressed I was in my life and my body, and I felt so disconnected from myself that experience led to a lot of discoveries about myself. I started to explore yoga and meditation, tried to look for answers why I felt so unhappy and unhealthy in my own life, which eventually led me to just leaving that corporate job, finding more solutions, different solutions for health and well-being. And I found that in the area of coaching, specifically health coaching, really resonated with me, as I was always really interested to work in the health field. So yeah, it's really my own personal story with stress, managing stress, being disconnected from myself, and then finding ways to get back into my connected self, feeling better myself, wanting to share that with others and helping others to feel happier and healthier. That's really what started the whole thing.
Which is perfect because it's our subject for today for our audience. That is, so I would like to ask you, what can you tell us about stress and food, and what relationship do you see about the stress response, and if you can tell something about it so that we can share it with our audience.
Yeah, sure. So stress and food is really interesting subject. When I was in university, we didn't really learn anything about nutrition except from, here are the main nutrients, and then the micronutrients, they don't really count. So that's basically our nutrition information in our pharmaceutical studying courses. And that's what I believe, that what I shared with other people. I thought it doesn't really matter what we eat, it's all chemicals, but food is just food. And when I started myself just feeling really unhealthy and unhappy in my own life and really stressed, I really realized with the conventional method and knowledge that I had, I didn't really have any answers whatsoever on why I was feeling this way. So as I said, I started exploring yoga and meditation and to just really calming myself down, which was great. But then I stumbled across all of this other information around food and how food is related to health and how we feel, which totally resonated with me and made so much sense. And since then, I've learned some. Sorry.
What do you think that happens to us when we stress and we eat? When we eat and we are stressed, what is going on in our body?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what I see with people happening is oftentimes we just eat very unconsciously, and oftentimes we use food to deal with stress. I'm not sure how it is for you, but I know for me there is a very big link to what I eat and how I eat when I'm stressed, that it's very different from what I eat and how I eat when I'm healthy. And I think there are two types of people. There are the people who, when they are stressed, are not eating and stop caring about themselves at all. And then there's those people who start eating more. I'm a big stress eater. So what I saw for myself is that the more stressed I was, the more weight I gained. Okay. Then there's another interesting correlation with the hormone cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which is actually what it does in our body is that if we have a lot of belly fat, there's a good chance that a lot of belly fat is coming from high cortisol levels, because high cortisol levels support the increase of fat cells growing in our tummies. So it's a complicated topic, but there's loads of correlations between food, how we feel, the stress response, and how we manage it.
And do you think that our past memories towards food can affect how we digest certain foods too?
Yes, also a very interesting question. So I think how we eat makes all the difference in the world. So it's what compared to what we eat. Of course, it's important what we eat and how we nourish our bodies, and there are good nutrients and not so good nutrients we can take. But if we take not so good nutrients, if we eat them in a very calm and relaxed place and we really enjoy it and celebrate it, like I'm going to have this piece of cake with ice cream and whipped cream on top, and I'm just going to enjoy it, and it's going to be the best treat of my life, and my body is feeling relaxed and calm and grounded, and I just really give myself time to eat it and indulge in it. It's going to be a very different digestion response when I'm saying, "Ugh, I really shouldn't eat this, but I really want it now, and I need to eat it fast." And how stressed we are in our bodies has a huge impact also on our digestion, what our body does with it.
And do you think that also the lifestyle we are living with all the technology and is affecting our eating too, and with stress, technology, and the information and all that? How do you think that's affecting us?
Mm-hmm. Also an interesting question. So I don't think there's a correlation between technology and stress, but it's how we use technology in our daily lives, or how that also links to food and how we eat food. So I think what I mentioned at the beginning, there is a big piece about how we feel connected to ourselves, how we feel about being present, or how we feel when we eat, if we're calm, relaxed, feeling good, if we're really stressed and really tight and just really goal-oriented, focused, need to run from one appointment to the next. So, and the same thing with technology. I think the way technology is, everyone has this little phone here next to them, and what happens is we get so distracted all the time. This phone is ringing, another message here, oh, I have 2 minutes of my time, let's go into Instagram and see a couple of pictures. And we are surrounded by technology already all the time, distracted, and all this distraction is, in my opinion, most of the time bringing us further away from ourselves, from feeling connected to ourselves, from feeling calm and grounded, easy in our bodies, more towards we're always looking outside for other things, and that's really shifting our perspectives outside. And when we are outside of ourselves, it's easy to just grab a muffin here, some ice cream there, just run around. Oh, I feel hungry, just have something quick on the go, do next thing, message from Facebook. So it's not really technology per se, but how we use it and how it's a daily distraction, and really taking our perspective from the inside more towards the outside. That makes all the difference.
Would you say that generates any kind of anxiety and makes us crave more food?
Yeah, I think the more we are distracted, or the more our focus shifts outward, the more likely we are to create habits that are not really serving us. So same with eating and watching TV. So if you're eating and watching TV, you're more likely to just eat more than you would if you would just focus, sit and breathe, and just eat until you're full, because you're distracted. You're not really listening to what your body is telling you. Maybe you're even eating foods with a lot of sugar or a lot of fat that are tasting delicious, and your body craves more of that because it just pulls out a lot of serotonin and just feels good. And if you lose that connection, focus on something outward, you are more likely to just eat more of that, for example. So again, it's not technology per se, but how we use it,
Yeah.
and where we put our attention.
You're giving us a lot of information, a lot of good information for us. So I want to tell them that we have the pleasure to have a workshop with you that you created that is called 7 Ways to Connect with Your Health Yourself. I would like if you want to tell them a little bit about this workshop, and if there's any tips you would like to share with them that will help them in their daily life towards stress and food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So I created this workshop with the title "How to Connect to Your Healthier Self," because this is what has been really important to me, for me to recognize that health has a lot to do with how we feel in our bodies and how much we feel, and so much stuff in our daily lives just gets in the way of us just feeling inside of us, being connected. So yeah, I've been observing myself and other people in my environment, and as I've been studying on different health coaching and other coaching courses and learning about stress and connecting to ourselves, I think what was obvious to me that it's actually not that difficult. It's most of the time comes down to the same basic things. So as you said, one of the 7 tips to connect to your healthy self, for example, is related to media, to technology and how we use it. So one of the biggest benefits in my life I've experienced was when I actually started to have a routine of shutting my phone off at night. So, well, not only at night, but, giving myself a timeline. I'm going to use my phone maybe from 8 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. And then it's going off, and I'm just going to have some free time for myself without distractions, without emails, without messages, without YouTube videos. And I love all those things, don't get me wrong. But, having this routine for a while for myself, I just realized how much more time I had to myself and how much calmer I got and how much I less looked outside, and I was more comfortable in my own skin. It was easier to fall asleep. I did things I usually felt like I had no time for, like taking proper care of my body, spending more time in the bathroom, just really getting ready, just reading books, actual books, all these things. So there was so much time available all of a sudden, and just makes me feel so much calmer and connected. So digital detox has been one of the things I got a lot of positive feedback on. That's really helping people at the moment, because I think everyone knows everyone is connected all the time, 24/7 these days.
So guys, the first tip, disconnect from your social media, from your phone. Set a timing to check on your messages. Don't be there all the time. Nothing's gonna happen if you're off social media for a while. So
exactly. And the magic is actually happening when you're offline yourself. So give yourself that time.
So is there any other tip you want to share with them?
Oh, there are loads of other tips, but maybe I can ask you. You participated at the workshop. What was your biggest takeaway from how to connect to your healthier self?
Okay. Yeah, one of the things I think you mentioned was the intention towards food. So actually not stressing out if I want to have a piece of cake during pregnancy, or not right now, but if I would have to go to a dinner and share a glass of wine, it's the intention that I'm doing. It's going to change it is how I digest the food and how it tastes. It's like the joy of actually eating something that maybe was prohibited in the past for me or whatever. But like it actually changed me, my way of thinking in regards to that. And then a good point you had during the workshop in regards to the balance of food and how there are different polarities. I don't know if you want to share a little tiny bit with people about that, how you have food that grounds you and food that gives you a lot of energy.
Yeah, sure. So the concept of polarity of food might sound a bit woo-woo at the beginning, especially I know that feeling being a pharmacist and coming out of this whole science. But I can totally relate to the model polarity of food. It's quite simple. So you just assume that each food we consume has a certain energy, so that certain foods that we consume that provide us a lot of energy, that are uplifting, that are giving us a lot of energy. Examples for those types of foods are it's things with sugar, a lot of sweets, candy, alcohol, glasses of wine, for example. That coffee, those things we eat to get more energy, like the chocolate bar on your lunch break to just, you know, have a bit of energy for the meeting. And then there are other foods that are more grounding and more not really taking away energy, but have a different energy around it, more grounding, more settling. And those would be foods like eggs, salty foods, red meat. And when we take the biological aspect of our body, always wanting to maintain a balance, there's this balance point. And what kind of foods are maintaining balance? It's usually a lot of vegetables, white meats, grains, healthy carbs. They are really in the middle. They are nourishing our body without being too energetic or too grounding. And what our body is trying all the time is to maintain a natural balance. So, and to give a practical example of how that looks like, I'm not sure how it is for you, but for me, certainly it is that way. If I'm feeling, or if I'm eating a bag of chips, which is very salty and more grounding, what do you feel like eating afterwards? I usually feel like eating a chocolate bar afterwards. You know, and my body's craving something sweet because it wants me to ground and to be in this natural, balanced position.
Yeah.
And we can take that even a step further towards, you know, it's not only the food we eat that have certain energies, but what we do have energies. So if we have a really stressful day that is draining our energy, you know, lots of meetings at work, or our boss was really unsatisfied, and then we have to pick up the kids. There's a lot of traffic on the way, so we just, you know, the whole day has been terrible. Lots of stress. You know, what do you feel like at the end of the day? You want to feel uplifted. So what do you eat, or what do you drink? You have a glass of wine, some chocolate, something sweet to just, you know, get you out of this draining situation into this balance point. So I really like this visual to just help us understand that our behavior and what we eat, you know, it's all getting us out of balance at certain points. So our cravings is a natural reaction from our body to help us just maintain that balance that is so easily lost when we are just, you know, busy all the time, running around, not focused on ourselves, but focused outward.
Super interesting. Well, I don't want to keep you longer. I'm really thankful for all these tips you have given to us today. It's been an amazing interview, and I think that everybody in the audience will love your tips and your help. And I would like to share with our audience that starting in September, you're getting back again free discovery calls. So I will leave your information down so that they can fix with you an appointment, so they can know if you can help them out with your health coaching.
Of course. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to being here, and I hope it was useful to your audience.
Yeah, thanks.